Welcome back to Southern Crime. Please smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment to join the conversation. So, we are going for, in my opinion, what is the absolute worst, one of the worst things that a human being can do, and that is stolen valor. And this woman, it just, the layers and layers of the wrongness that she did are amazing. So, a prominent veterans group is now refunding donations that it collected for a woman accused of falsely claiming to be a Marine Corps combat veteran with a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star Medal for Valor who was suffering from stage 4 lung cancer. She just laid it on there as thick as she possibly could. Let me tell you, not only did this woman use the job that she had to steal this information, she ended up becoming the VFW post commander on top of it. Sorry, y'all. I come from a family of military veterans, and this is just sickening to me. So, a woman sent an urgent request for help to a foundation and then provided documents in support of her claims. The nonprofit organization announced a January 31st letter to donors, and this was January 31st, 2022. It was the Hunter 7 Foundation. When it was alerted to questions about the woman's alleged military service, the charity started investigating, along with the Department of Defense and Veterans Affairs. We were horrified to learn that, in fact, this was a circumstance of fraudulent military service, financial, and medical treatment records, according to the letter, which does not include the woman's name. But I'm telling you, it is Sarah Cavanaugh. Upon learning this information, the foundation contacted local and federal authorities and concurrently swiftly stopped payment on an initial check that had already been sent. They have, this is a copy of the document that the woman sent. It's a DD 214. It is the discharge document that military veterans get. Well, anybody gets. Obviously, if you're in the military, you're a veteran. And this is the DD 214 is the discharge document. It lists her full name as Sarah Cavanaugh. And like I said, it has been reported that she is a Marine veteran and a commander of Veterans of Foreign Wars VFW Post 152 in Rhode Island. So there you go. There you go. There is the proof that you need right there. So the Marine Corps does not have any records for Sarah Cavanaugh or for a Marine with the Social Security number listed on the DD 214, which I'm assuming she used her own, which they've redacted. A Facebook group that's run by a female Marine veterans worked with Hunter 7 Foundation to see if they could verify Cavanaugh's service as a Marine. Now, remember, we're saying that this woman, Sarah Cavanaugh, at this point was the post commander for a VFW. Members instantly noticed discrepancies in Cavanaugh's comments to media outlets about where and when she had been deployed, along with the problems with the award she was wearing on her uniform, right here. On Tuesday, Cavanaugh, this is, we're talking about a while ago, Cavanaugh told, Cavanaugh said that she had never told Hunter 7 that she was a Marine who was suffering from cancer. She also said that she had never sent any DD 214 as proof that she had served in the Marine Corps. She said, "I do not intend to accept any donations from any charities," Cavanaugh said. She said she was never affiliated with a VFW post, and certainly not Post 152. She did not answer when asked if she had ever served as the post commander. VFW officials confirmed that Cavanaugh had served as commander of of Post 152, but she had just resigned. VFW spokesman said the group is investigating Cavanaugh for possibly falsifying her military record. It is up to the members to provide verification of their service, and we have processes and bylaws in place on how we can verify that. Cavanaugh also claimed that the Hunter Seven Foundation had contacted her, not the other way around. They outreached to me directly, saying that they had heard some things about me, that they had known my story or something about some story, that they had been given my name by someone, Cavanaugh said. It was all like indirect third person referrals. I never outreached to that charity. I didn't, you know. I wasn't aware of any posts that they were going to make to raise money or anything like that. However, Marine Major Thomas Schumann, which is the founder of the nonprofit veterans group Patrol Base Abate, said that Cavanaugh told him she was dying of cancer from toxic exposure to burn pits. And she also provided him with a DD 214 that was ultimately found to be riddled with disparities. Schumann said that he met with Cavanaugh after he saw that she had posted a GoFundMe fundraiser in which she claimed to have cancer. She also claimed to have received the Purple Heart and Bronze Star with V device. During a roughly 90-minute conversation, Cavanaugh told Schumann that she had been wounded in Afghanistan and medically evacuated to Germany and then Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. That is the one in D.C. where the senators and president also goes. I used to transport there all the time on my ambulance. She told me about her injury recoveries, how she was medically retired as a staff sergeant, and then how a couple of years ago she was just coughing and that she started to cough up blood. So she went to the doctor and she had stage 4 lung cancer and that it had spread to her bones and her brain and that she had anywhere from 1 to 2 years left of life based on the timeline that the doctor gave her because it was not curable at that point, only treatable. Schumann was so moved by Cavanaugh's story that he looked into hiring her at Patrol Base Abate, but discrepancies quickly emerged in her story. She told him that her twin brother was killed in Iraq and buried at Arlington National Cemetery, but a member of Patrol Base Abate who visited the gravesite noticed it was for a Marine killed in Afghanistan who was not related to her. Cavanaugh also submitted artwork for an art fair that was not hers. And then Schumann noticed problems on the DD Form 214 that she had submitted, which listed her rank at the time of separation as corporal. The document also did not say that she had been medically retired. She said, "Oh, I was court-martialed before I got out of the Marine Corps because I was being sexually assaulted by my commanding officer on ship, and I shot him as he was attempting to sexually assault me," Schumann said. "Oh, okay." So she said, "I got reduced by 2 ranks." However, when Schumann sent the DD 214 to his contacts in the Marine Corps, he learned that the Defense Department identification number on the document belonged to a male corporal. Cavanaugh was not listed in any of the award databases for the Purple Heart and Bronze Star. When he then confronted her about those issues, she claimed to be the victim of a Marine Corps conspiracy to erase her identity because she had shot her commanding officer. Lord. So we've got all of this going on. So she has stage 4 cancer. I read somewhere it was an IED when she inhaled stuff from the IED, which gave her the lung cancer, and it's stage 4, and it's in her bones and her brain, and she's not going to live long. But for it was either 5 or 7 years she kept this story going, and she became the VFW post commander. So if she had gotten away with all of this, if it kept going, I mean, it had gone on $250,000, y'all, including medical care. She fooled the VA. Had she gotten away with it, that's money and attention to a cause that could have gone towards somebody else that really needed it. There are military veterans who truly need it desperately. So I think that that's one betrayal. And the other is it betrays the trust of people like me and the people I asked to donate. So next time when there's a real need, people might be hesitant to trust and donate. So here is what has now happened. A couple of days ago, she was, she, this all came about finally. It came up in January that something was not right. So Sarah Cavanaugh claimed to be so ill as disabled Marine veteran, she had a caregiver pick up her dog's droppings for her. Did I mention that she was the VFW commander? Can you tell that this bothers me? The Purple Heart and Bronze Star that she said she had earned gained her entry into a California arts program for wounded veterans over a double amputee. At the gym, where people heard about her supposed cancer from the burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan, and how an explosion had left her with brain and dexterity injuries, members dropped to their knees to tie her sneakers for her. They performed this act of kindness not for a day, a week, or even a month, one gym member explained, but for almost 5 years. The entire gym family was manipulated. These were some of the small, reprehensible ways people were hurt by Cavanaugh's grand deception of being something and someone she never was. Fraud permeated every aspect of her life every day for years, from major events to the everyday and mundane things. So in August, she pled guilty. And just yesterday, Tuesday, which was the March 13th, I think. I don't know what today is. Today's Wednesday, the day after that. She has been sentenced to 7 years in jail. She has to pay back more than $250,000 in veterans benefits and charitable contributions. So, Assistant U.S. Attorney Ronald Gendron, he said the fact that she misappropriated the awards, combat histories, medical diagnoses, and identities of real veterans is reprehensible. But the fact that she then used that stolen valor to enrich herself to the detriment of real veterans is simply horrendous. In exchange for her guilty plea, prosecutors agreed to recommend a sentence in the low end of sentencing guidelines. She could have faced 24 years in jail. She has been sentenced to 70 months in jail, as well as having to pay back all of that money. So her lawyer said that she did not commit these crimes with malice in her heart or purely for economic benefit. This case and the actions that Miss Cavanaugh undertook are much more nuanced than what it appears at first glance. While it is understandable that the pain and anger that the case elicits at its core, this case is about a troubled woman who committed fraud while wholly underappreciating the hurt that her actions have caused. Her lies and deceptions spiraled into something that she could not extricate herself from. The government's recommendation of almost 6 years behind bars is designated for violent offenders, career criminals, and unremorseful individuals, said Barrett. None of these adjectives apply to Miss Cavanaugh. The letters of support by persons who know Miss Cavanaugh, including victims of her fraudulent scheme, all acknowledge that while they are shocked by her fraud, they know that she is not the monster that she is being portrayed to be. Y'all, Cavanaugh grew up in Warwick, Rhode Island, in a household marked by unspeakable violence. Against all odds, however, she graduated from Rhode Island College with a degree in political science and earned a master's degree in sociology at Boston College, a field that interested her and a desire to help others in need, given the trauma that she had experienced as a child. At some point, she ended up working at the VA Medical Center, and Cavanaugh began to develop a sort of connection with the veterans that she cared for. This connection stemmed from the trauma that was reported to her by the veterans and her own specific trauma. This connection stemmed from the trauma that was reported to her by the veterans and her own specific trauma, which I get that. Veterans drew close to her because they assumed Cavanaugh was one of them, a notion which she did not dispel. She began to fabricate the idea that she was, in fact, a Marine. Cavanaugh put much effort into this new role. She bought replicas of the Purple Heart and Bronze Star and wore them in public. She served as commander of VFW Post Number 152 in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. In August of 2021, she appeared in full dress Marine uniform and played host at an event dedicating a portion of Route 1 as the Purple Heart Trail. No one earns a Purple Heart alone, she reportedly told attendees, including Governor Dan McKee. I earned mine amongst 11 other Marines, all of whom were awarded that medal. Some came home, some did not. No one came home the same. She described herself as one of those veterans, the ones who wish to fly under the radar, who merely did what was asked. In reality, the state prosecutor said Cavanaugh did what no one asked and what many would never imagine: steal the medical histories of real veterans, including one who was so afraid she might die that he paid her $600 monthly health insurance deductible for years. Cavanaugh made their ailments hers and reaped what she could. From the Wounded Warrior Project, she received $230,683. From VFW Post 152, she received $6,146. Travel and tuition to the Creative Vets Art Studio, Arts Project, $14,972. From the Staff Sergeant Matthew A. Pusino Memorial Foundation, $10,072. And from a GoFundMe titled Help Sarah Win Her Battle, $4,766. She had no trouble asking for help, requesting that one charitable group, Code of Support, write checks to pay her $900 overdue gym membership, cover a $10,000 furnace repair, and pay her $2,500 mortgage bill. Her crimes were not committed out of a sudden passion or opportunity. Rather, she defrauded veterans, veterans organizations, veterans charities, friends, and co-workers in a methodical and calculated manner over a period of years, to the detriment of real veterans who legitimately needed services. In asking, she resigned from the VA Medical Center in disgrace. Her spouse filed for divorce. Sorry about your bad luck. And she has received numerous death threats, which were reported to U.S. probation and apparently unsympathetic local law enforcement departments. Cavanaugh sold her home with proceeds of about $85,000, already going to the $294,000 she has agreed to pay in forfeiture and restitution. She will never be able to work in a career field in which she devoted years of schooling to achieve. Her standing in the community has been stripped, and her ability to obtain virtually any kind of employment has been diminished. These penalties are not insignificant and should sufficiently deter other similarly situated defendants, said her attorney. Sorry about your bad luck. The infamy of what she did will follow her for the rest of her life, as it should. Thank you so much for joining us for this. Don't mess with the veterans, y'all. They are the ones that keep me free to be able to do this, and the rest of us free to do whatever it is that we want to do during the day or night or whatever. Thank you so much for joining us. Leave a comment below to become part of the conversation. We love y'all. We will see you later. Bye.